Yes, guys. Hello and welcome back to the SpursRelated YouTube channel and podcast. I hope everyone is doing very well today. Today, we've got an action-packed video, all done within 20 minutes. We're keeping it short and sweet and getting to the point. Today, we're looking at all transfer links, all the updates from Tier 1 sources, as well as the huge fixture announcement from the Premier League fixtures today. We'll be talking about our thoughts on that and reviewing which months are harder than others. Today, I am joined alongside Andre of SpursRelated all the way from Canada. Andre, very quickly, mate, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Very excited to see that some Premier League fixtures got released. It's already getting me excited for the Premier League for the next season and some twists and turns in the transfer window once again.
Yep, twists and turns, plenty of news to bring you even since we are about to go and record this video. There is a couple more bits of news. Let's get straight into things, Andre. And before we do so, actually, guys, really appreciate the support on the channel. We're growing day by day. If you could smash a thumbs up on the video, it helps massively. And subscribe if you are new. They are my two wishes. And of course, if you want to comment, we're replying to all comments. So create talking points in the comments as well. Andre, over to you, the newsman.
Perfect. So the first big one being, of course, that Spurs have officially announced that Danjuma is heading and departing from the club. His loan spell ended. Obviously, they had announced this a little earlier. There were these reports, Danjuma saying thank you, but now it's official. The big thing being that the club, they never had him in their plans, and it's unfortunate. I personally think they didn't give him enough of a chance to show what he could do. And in the few times that he did play, he did show that he had goals in him. He scored 2 goals and in 12 matches, so not the best, but also bear in mind that almost every game he was coming in the last 10 minutes, so he did the best that he could with those last 10 minutes in every match. So, but he did his job. He came in and he impacted whenever he was called upon. So good for him, and I wish him the best.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much summarized it very well there, Andre. I don't think he's obviously in Ange's plans, so he was, his loan spell ended, and was he given enough chance under Conte and Stellini and Mason? I would say not. Mason started giving him a bit more game time at the end. He scored a couple of goals, like you said. Do I think he could have been part of the plans? Yes, I do. I think he is a player that presses. I think he's a player that has a lot of energy. When he comes off the bench, he looks like a threat. He could change a game off the bench. I think it's a bit of a shame, this one. Out of the 2 departures today, obviously we'll get into the second in a minute, in terms of first team players, I honestly think this is a little bit of a shame. But then again, I don't know. I just don't think he was given a full chance. But here we are. We've got to move with what we're doing. And listen, it might be a sign to come. We're getting rid of players without hesitation. Yes, this was the end of loan spells, but hopefully we'll get rid of some of the deadwood that we really want to get rid of at this club as well.
Oh, for sure. Well said. So best of luck to him, honestly.
Exactly. Yeah. Best of luck, Arnold Danjuma.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
Let's go.
The big one being Kulusevski. Spurs want a lower fee for Dejan Kulusevski. I mean, this is the most Tottenham thing ever. We make a deal and then we find a loophole, and here we are. But I mean, the loophole itself is sort of us just not being a good team this season. The idea being that it was about a 40 million buy, or you had to buy him, right? A must buy if we made Champions League, which we did not. So now that has not happened, we're exploring cheaper deals. I think we're aiming close to 30 from what I've seen. And I mean, especially with the season that he's had, I'm totally happy with him coming to Tottenham. And I think that for once, I agree with trying to explore a cheaper deal.
Yes, I would agree. I don't think Juventus would welcome him back with open arms. I don't think he was part of their plans 2 seasons ago, and I certainly don't think he's part of their plans to bring back in now. I don't think their opinion on him would have changed much since we acquired him in January 2021. I think in the 18 months we've had him, he's been a fantastic player. Sorry, we got him in January 2022, I beg your pardon. I think he's been a fantastic player in the 18 months. I think the first sort of 8-9 months he was phenomenal. The back 8-9 months of this season he tailed off. He didn't have as good a season. But I really don't understand there is some fans out there that don't want to explore the buy option on Kulusevski. They're saying don't bring him back. I've seen some people on Twitter saying they wouldn't take him back. For me, it's a no-brainer. Dejan Kulusevski, when he came in January 2022, was phenomenal. Him and Bentancur changed that season and completely accelerated us towards top four in a team that probably shouldn't have got top four. Conte did absolute wonders with him. He came in, everyone was saying he was going to be too slow, and he used his agility to absolutely finesse defenders on the wing, cutting inside on that left and scoring multiple goals and getting multiple assists as well. I believe as he came in, he got the most assists from the moment he came in till the end of that season. He was phenomenal. Let's not forget that. Yes, he's had not awful season, but not great season. I'd call it an average season last season. But the haggling over price, like you said, Andre, I do understand it. But let's not lose this guy based on the fact that he didn't have a great season last season.
No, I agree. And I also think to an extent, from what I've seen, Juventus and Tottenham actually do have a really good relationship. So I don't see this sort of breaking down. I think it's just a matter of, Daniel Levy clearly wants to make a good amount of signings this season from what we'll talk about in a bit. And I think if you can save 5-6 million and put it towards another player, then he's going to do that. So, and I'm more than happy to see what Ange Postecoglou does with Kulusevski. And, hopefully maybe he'll figure something out. So, but anyways, moving on to the next one, a really big one. Lenglet has returned to Barcelona. Obviously, there's been all of these discussions that, Lenglet, there's this whole deal that's being possibly struck between Barcelona and Tottenham to get his signing. So him returning to Barcelona actually doesn't mean that we're not going to get him. That was always part of the plan. It was a straight loan deal. So we still could get him. But it's official through Spurs, that the club, they've announced that he's returned to Barcelona.
Yeah, and I would actually say that the announcement means we probably won't pick him up on a permanent. Do you not think?
Well, no, I think it's always been, because it's a straight loan, there's always going to be an official announcement of him returning to the club. It needs to happen. However, now we'll see how quick Tottenham sort of act upon getting him, if they are planning on getting him. Like you said, it might have been cheaper options, right? Like I think 6 million or 10 million or so that they're exploring. So if they're going to get him, I would say within a week or two, something's going to happen. And if we don't hear something within a week or two, that means they've probably lost interest in this player. So only time will tell. You guys in the comments, let us know if you think that Lenglet would be a good addition to the squad as a squad player, as a starter. Personally, for me, not the biggest fan of Lenglet, but it's not saying much when people say that he's better than the majority of our center backs, because most of our center backs need to leave. But moving on, the next big thing that happened right before we started this episode is that Spurs are working on a deal for Harvey Barnes. The big news being that more or less that the deals that we might need to make might be quite expensive. I think there were rumors out there that possibly we're trying to do a dual bid of Maddison and Barnes as one sort of deal. And those aren't true. The biggest thing right now is that they're working on both deals, trying to come to a sort of valuation on both. The thing with Harvey Barnes, at least for me, I'll go over his stats a little bit. This season, he played 40 matches, scored 13 goals, 3 assists, had a 74% pass completion rate, a 47% tackle success rate. And he's 25 years old, and his contract expires in about 2 years. So it might be a little bit difficult to get him personally because, Leicester, I'm sure, is going to try their best to get him and Maddison, get the most out of them with like the biggest amount of valuation that they can. Obviously, while being realistic that in about a year, they're both gonna be on their last year of their contract, and it's gonna be a very difficult thing to sort of get the most money out of them, right? So we'll see what happens. At the moment, there's no official bid, but they're still working on them, which goes in consequence with the next big thing that Winks, according to the Daily Telegraph, is an option that they're exploring for the Maddison deal, or maybe in the Harvey Barnes deal. But the idea is that this guy here, he's returning back to the club, and he's not in the plans anymore. That's just the I guess you could say that's it for Winks. So glad to see you're back, James. But yeah, I'm just talking about Winks right now. It looks like he's done. He's just, he's returned to Tottenham, and now it looks like Tottenham just are looking to just ship him off to another club. Any thoughts on Winks?
Listen, Andre, I knew Winks was coming up. That's why I completely died out of this StreamYard. But no, Harry Winks hopefully has found his level at Leicester. In the Championship, probably actually quite a good level for him. And James Maddison could be part of this deal, like you said. Winks could be part of the James Maddison deal. Absolutely incredible business if we manage this one. I could see like 30 to 40 million plus Harry Winks would be a good deal. I think James Maddison is a player that we're sort of now leading the race with Newcastle. It sort of changes every day. Newcastle go favourites, then we go favourites. It's very interesting. I'd love James Maddison. You guys know my thoughts on James Maddison. But let's see what happens.
Well, how much would Winks even be worth to them? I think Newcastle, the reason why we've sort of emerged as favorites now is because Newcastle is sort of thinking about the fact that €60 million as the price tag is too much. Would we be the ones would it be worth it for us? That's the big difference. How much of a difference would it make to include Winks in this deal?
If you're asking me to value Harry Winks, it's probably just better to get him off our books at this point, mate. 5 million, 10 million. Genuinely, I can't see, I'd be mad to turn around and say Harry Winks is worth more than 10 million. He's really not. He's not a young player anymore. He's a player that doesn't hold much value to us. If he was to come back in our midfield squad, he's like 6th choice. He holds no value to the club. It's about getting players off this wage bill now and getting players out the door to allow new players to come in. And James Maddison is an absolute upgrade on him. Slightly different positions, of course, but, we've got to make room in that squad.
Yeah, that's true. I think maybe 5 million would be taken off at max. So I could see us still paying like 55 million for James Maddison, even if Winks was included. And would Leicester even want to have Winks come to their club?
I don't think 55 million. I heard that the talk was 60 million for both. So I don't think 55 for Maddison makes sense. I think Maddison's about 40 and Barnes is about 20-25. That would be my thoughts.
Well, I heard that, Fabrizio tweeted that there was a rumor about 50 million euros as a bid, a dual bid, and it's not true.
Yeah. Okay.
So it could be one of those cases where Maddison is valued a lot more and Winks will just maybe take off a little bit. But, we'll see what happens in this one. Again, this is a big twist here. Is the fact that now all those rumors about Harvey Barnes, they're true. We're looking at getting him as well. That'd be a good addition to the club.
I'd love them both. Absolutely love them both. Harvey Barnes, a fantastic player, especially times. It looks like Son's, potentially going to, he should be back for the start of the season, but, we now know he's got this injury. Harvey Barnes is a fantastic winger that can come in pretty much either side, probably from the left more adequately, and would just be a fantastic player, Premier League proven. Like I said, I'm surprised Leicester went down with that team. They have some very, very good individual players. But let's see. And let's move on to today's big news, if you like.
Perfect. So the big one being that Spurs have released their Premier League fixtures. Now, that gets me pretty excited because since we don't have any European football, we really just have to concentrate on the Premier League and then the FA Cup when it comes around in January, and then the Carabao Cup. So we just got the 3. And here we are. I'm personally more so a little annoyed that we have to start away, even if it is just
I'm less annoyed that we have to start away at Brentford. I am more annoyed at that April and May run-in. I mean, where do I start on this one? How many times do we get stitched up, whether it's just before Christmas, whether it's near the end of the season? I'm not saying that the Premier League hate us, and I'm not saying that they're biased towards other teams. However, you do have to have a little look. Man City's first 6 games are all probably they've got 18 points, and yes, Man City can beat anyone, but they have favourable fixtures. Arsenal have some favourable fixtures. We start Brentford away, Man United at home. I would argue that is a very, very hard start. But then
Mhm.
you look at this April-May run-in. How can you have Newcastle away, Man City at home, Arsenal at home, and then Liverpool at home when we're potentially either going to be going for, say, top 4 or top 6, whatever the case, whatever the situation? How have they given us 4 of the hardest games in a row? What in what other Premier League season has that happened to any other team where they get 4 of the hardest fixtures in a row right at the end? Now, people will be saying, oh, James, everyone has to play everyone. And I get that. But why? It's almost like they want this cinema at the end of the season where Tottenham absolutely bottle something because they've stitched us up with the hardest fixtures they could think of. The only one we're missing here is bloody Manchester City. No, we're not even missing that. What are we missing? Arsenal, Man City,
United.
Man
No, no, either
United,
there.
they're all there. Man United is earlier in January. So the only way they could have stitched us up more is if at the end of the May part they give us Brighton and Man United, and I'm surprised they haven't. They would love it if we were top 4 and then we just plummet down into 7th, 8th. Oh, because Spurs have bottled it. No, we haven't bottled it. You've given us the hardest fixtures for the last 5 games.
Yeah. I mean, Chelsea's a little bit far away. It's all the way out in February, at least.
Give it. I don't care. Man City, best team in the league by far. Arsenal came second last season, and it's renowned for being a difficult game. Liverpool away is pretty much we're never winning. And Newcastle away, who are, I mean, I've still got PTSD from the 6-1. Like, seriously, guys, like, does anyone else know what I mean? Like, fixtures are fixtures. We play 38 games. We play the same 38 games everyone else plays, right? But how are we getting stitched up like that at the end of the season? Honestly, I don't know if anyone else is feeling the same. I was watching a few streams earlier, and a couple of the other YouTubers are feeling the exact same. It's almost like the Premier League just want to absolutely get one on us every single year.
I mean, at least we had Nottingham Forest before. Like, it's not the worst. You could have had.
So 3 points against Forest, and then Newcastle away loss, Man City at home loss, Arsenal at home, who knows, Liverpool away loss. Like, cheers. We could be going for top 4 thinking, we could be on this channel in March in absolute cuckoo land going, we're going to get top 4. We could be absolutely flying 3rd or 4th. And then suddenly, Spurs will be bottlers of the league in May because they've given us the absolute devil of fixtures. I'm sick of it. Rant over.
Well, I mean, you know what, man? I think you've summarized it perfectly because I didn't really want to talk about that too much. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I just wanted to focus on other little things here, but I mean, what else? Is there any other spot in this fixture list that's really as bad? I don't think so.
I mean, December's not ideal. A lot of fixtures there, a lot of midweeks. Man City away, West Ham at home in 1 week, Newcastle at home, all in 7 days. Pretty difficult. October's looking like we should get some points. End of September is pretty difficult. Arsenal away, Liverpool at home. And other than that, we've just been absolutely done over in April and May. And I refuse to believe that is randomly generated on the Premier League's mathematical system where they generate what would be fair for all teams and where they take into consideration the away trips where teams have to go 8 hours away on a 12:30 kickoff. Like, oh gosh, like it's not random. Someone at the Premier League is a massive Arsenal fan and has just thought, yes, absolute cinema to see Spurs bottle the top 4 or top 6 or whatever situation we're in. Do you know what the Premier League would love? Us to be in a title race and us getting ahead of ourselves, and then bang, Man City lost, bang, Arsenal lost, bang, Newcastle lost, bang, Liverpool lost. They would love it. They would love it.
Yeah, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it here, I think February might be a little difficult as well. We've got to face Brighton, who again, we can't overlook them. They made top 5. Then you got Chelsea, who's probably going to make a bunch of new signings. And then Wolves, who are probably going to try and make a comeback. So that's a pretty hard month to me as well.
I think Wolves are getting relegated this season.
Really? Why?
Yeah, I think Wolves will go down. Not the video, mate, but I think Wolves are going to go down.
What? But they have Max Kilman, don't they?
Don't even start. Anyway, I think that summarizes the video very well. We summarized a lot. We would have got it done in 20 minutes if my internet didn't mess up. I will be ringing Sky for the 5th time this week to get that sorted. But that's not important. The important thing is you smash a like on the video. You subscribe. Mosquito there. You subscribe if you are new. And Andre, big up yourself. Thanks for all the stats and analysis and news. And we'll see you very soon, guys. Take care and have a great rest of your day. And as always, come on, you Spurs!